Are your prospects even committed to what it is that you're offering them? Are they committed to change? Are they committed to putting forth effort? Do they even have a budget to afford whatever it is that you are offering them? Today, we're going to cover that on step 7 of the 8-step inception flow. Now, as always, if you are watching this video and you have no idea what I'm talking about, make sure you go in the description below and you catch up and you watch all the videos of the playlist up to this point, because there's a lot that we have covered. And when I go into references of step 5 and step 6, you're not going to know what I mean if you didn't watch the video. So please watch all these in order so that you are caught up to this point. And again, we will not be on step 7 if they are not qualified. If they could not make it this far, then you are done with the conversation. But let's say they have made it this far, they are qualified, and we're ready to move them forward even further. So I'm going to give you guys 2 examples of getting people to step 7. One's going to be, as always, the fitness example, and one's going to be business, okay? So this is the commitment stage, right? We just gapped them, right? Step 5, we gapped them. And then step 6, which is optional, just depends, is re-leverage, right? So let's say we gapped them, we cover the identity flaws, right? You know, weight loss, you want to go from fat to fit, we claim the objections. Does that sound like you? Yes, that's me. Cool, we got a yes. Expert rapport goes even higher. They are committed to change, right? Now we're gonna actually make sure that they are committed to change, right? Step 7. So in this example, right, let's say it was keto. Does this sound like you? Step 5, yes. Step 6, cool. Do you think in order to get to your goal that actually following a detailed plan and having accountability and actually following a keto diet and a keto plan will get you to your goals? Yes, cool. So now they are basically saying they agree with your vehicle. They agree with what you're leveraging, okay? Or same thing, influencer. Let's say you're selling a coaching program, and this was an influencer by, I don't know, again, Mark Cuban, right? Do you think that Mark Cuban can help you with your investment goals of getting to XYZ? Yes, awesome. So step 7, here, leverage. Now, commitment and budget. Step 7 is, you know, are they committed to following the plan, doing whatever it takes? Are you willing? This typically comes into time, energy, and effort. Cool. So this is another qualifying phase, right? You get to be specific. So if you are selling a program that is related to keto, or a program that's going to have to be with business of selling Facebook ads, how much time per week are they going to have to be involved into showing up to do the workouts, actually doing meal prepping, right? Whatever the average is, if you know that average, you fill it in. So let's say it's working in, cool. Are you willing to put in, I don't know, may say it's an hour, 5 days a week, right? 5 days a week. Energy, you know, you can just say energy, it doesn't matter. It's really hard to measure that, but effort, right? And effort could be, again, back into time, but let's say it's 5 days and an hour a week, right? So 5 hours per week. So cool. So listen, now you're on keto. Are you really willing to set aside a minimum of 5 days a week, you know, possibly an hour per day, Monday through Friday, or whatever 5 days you choose, right? And give it your all, right? Following the tempo, staying on pace, doing whatever it takes. And let's say, so effort, let's say that the identity, you're going to have to use your better judgment here. Let's say the identity flaw was procrastination and discipline, right? So the reason why this step is important is because we're preparing to overcome future objections that could possibly come up in the future, right? So what I mean by that is, if I was talking to a mother who has 3 children and she tells me that her identity flaw was procrastination and discipline because she has kids. I wasted all this money. I kept saying I was going to do it, but I made the excuse because I have kids, I have to pick them up from school, and I'm just tired, right? And it comes down to energy, right? Tired. right? So she didn't put forth the effort. And then I go through the whole thing and let her know that procrastination, fear of failure, these are identity flaws. In order to get your results to look amazing in your wedding dress, you must change and become a new identity. And then she says, yes. And then, do you think keto will get you there? Yes. Now, cool. Are you willing to commit, knowing that even if we can help you, you would have to sacrifice at least 5 days a week, right? Showing up Monday through Friday to coaching calls, dedicating at least an hour of working out, right? And still put the effort, knowing even if you get done with work and you get done at 5 p.m., that you will still make the time, even if you have to feed your children, even if you have to do whatever it takes to take care of the family, and still put forth the effort of squeezing in these workouts. Are you willing to commit to doing that, right? Again, I'm still addressing character and identity, but I'm gauging the commitment of the time, energy, and effort now, early, whatever that may be, right? Why am I doing that? Because if I know what the identity flaw is, or I know what the character flaw is, or if I know a possible objection, and common sense tells me a mother of 3 kids, if that's been the problem, and then I don't want them to be able to leverage that later. I want to, again, put all responsibility on the prospect. Why would I pitch her a $5,000 or $6,000 program for 6 months that's going to require a lot of effort from her, even if she changed her identity and committed to it, but she's not going to be committed to actually putting forth the effort, right? Or budget here is optional, right? This is a qualification phase. Now, what if food that is required here is going to be, on average $300 a month? So in this step, are you willing, after they say yes, do you think keto gets you there? Yes, cool. Also, are you willing to commit, knowing, 5 days a week, at least an hour aside, even if we're to help you and get you commitment, to give you accountability, knowing that you're going to be tired when you get done with work, you actually willing to commit and follow through, follow the plan, and even get the stuff that you need for groceries to follow the diet, when on average it may cost you $300 a month. We've already have an amazing plan put in place. We have a budget thing for groceries. We've taken all the bill and everything out that you need to know. Everything you need to buy is taken care of. But are you willing to commit to these things, even if it means having to spend $300 to get groceries, right? So we just bring it on the table now. This is the final qualification step, right? Most of the time, they will agree to what this is. Now, I want you guys to see the difference here. This is very unique, right? This is powerful because you may be saying, okay, well, Dylan, if we have an application thing in place, what if I have an application? What if I just ask for this information early? An application, right? Okay, let's look at the different scenario. If this person, before the call, wasn't willing to spend money on groceries, like you had this as a question, like, were you willing to spend $300 on groceries? Or are you willing to commit to at least 5 days a week and blah, 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 right? And you're like, okay, well, they're not willing to do that, so bye-bye. You see how much more powerful it is asking them this question after you made them claim a new identity? It's completely different. They were stuck in their old ways before talking to you. Before talking to you on the phone, this is what closing is. Closing is change. Closing is action. Closing is a commitment to taking action for change, right? Before speaking to you, of course they weren't going to be committed to doing 5 days a week. Before speaking to you, of course they weren't going to be committed to making the energy and effort. If they were, they wouldn't need you. They wouldn't need you. They won't need your product service. They would already be on the path to getting results anyways. So of course they're not going to beat you. But now that you've actually taken them through these steps and qualified them and made them claim a new identity and commit to change, now when you ask for a commitment and you're willing to put a budget to this, it's completely different. Now, vice versa. Let's take it over to business. Let's say, yes, that is me. My business was struggling here. This is why. I didn't take business seriously. My goal is to make X amount, and I know in order to get there, I must make this change. And yes, I agree that Facebook ads, or yes, I agree that SEO, search engine optimization, whatever it is the vehicle to be able to get me to my goal. I agree with you. Boom, boom. We're on step 7, right? Commitment, right? Are you willing to commit to whatever it is they have to do, right? Like, listen, hey, in order to do this, there's gonna be some effort involved to you, right? If we generate you leads, Are you and your team, are you willing to commit and do whatever it takes and follow up with your leads within 5 minutes? This is a big one. This is a big problem for a lot of you. Maybe you're watching this and you're selling, you have agency work and you're selling leads. And you have prospects who aren't qualified because you didn't take them through the steps, you didn't qualify them correctly, you didn't address identity or change or anything, and now prospects are blaming you when saying, oh man, we're not getting any business, like these leads are crap, they're unqualified. But in reality, you know that you're generating them leads, but no one's actually following up with them and they're not closing them correctly. Is it the agency's fault or is it the business owners? We all know it's the business owner, they just don't want to admit it, right? Well, cool. Now you get to it. Listen, are you willing to, whatever that is, now in step 7, you get to address it. You get to address it now because you just made them claim a new identity. You just followed all and got to this point. Cool. Are you willing to commit to, when a lead comes in, having you or a member of your staff follow our proven processes, follow our proven scripts, and follow up with the leads within 5 minutes? If we were to do this and get you to your goal, if it means getting accomplished your goal, are you willing to commit to being able to do that? Awesome. Now, budget, again, optional. Is a budget required, right? And do you have, here's how you ask it, right? If you're in B2B, if you're in a business, or even if it's just kind of broad for groceries, whatever it is, it's very simple. Now you get to weigh, do they have anything set aside to make this happen? Do you have a budget set aside to be able to generate leads? That's it. So step 7, are you committed to following up within 5 minutes? Yes, cool. Do you have a budget set aside being able to acquire leads, right? And typically they'll be like, well, what kind of budget? Okay, well, this is where you get to tell them, well, typically most people want to spend money on ads if it means getting this type of return. Now, when you're asking the budget question, or you're asking the stuff when it comes to budget spending money, whether it's spending money on groceries or spending money on ads, you must remind them of step 4, their goal. Right? So let's say your budget is, they have to spend $2,000 a month, 2K per month, right? And I'm on step 7. And I know, okay, in the back of my head, you know, here's where they're at. They're really struggling. They're only making sales. Oh, they have to spend $2,000 a month. It won't ramp up for the next 3 months, right? 3-month ramp up. And you know, oh gosh, well, they're going to be 6K deep before they break even. So they have to be willing to spend $6,000 in ads before they finally see results and get out of the hole. Right? Well, if you did your job and you made them claim a new identity, now they're gonna be open to it. Compared to, again, if you ask this question early on, probably not gonna do it because they didn't have an identity change. This is why this is powerful. But let's say it's 2,000. So now you literally just say, and you remind them of step 4. Now remember, if you remember in the earlier videos of step 4, I showed you how to generate opportunity costs, but through identity, we were able to get them to change their goal higher. If, let's say their goal was 10K, we took them to say, well, wait a second, if you're selling the product for 5K and you only need to sell 2 a month, you're already at your goal. Why is your goal so low? Why only 10K? If you do this, this, and this, on average, we see a lot of people generate 5 to 10 deals a month. Don't you think that 5 deals shouldn't be your goal and be striving towards 25K, especially since you've been in business for X amount of years, right? And now their goal is 25K. So now when you ask them the question, cool, listen, you know, are you willing to commit to following up your leads within 5 minutes, following our proven tactics, our proven scripts, right? As well as, do you have a budget set aside to be able to generate leads, right? Well, what is it? How much would that cost? Well, typically on average, you know, we recommend that you start with the budget of a minimum of $2,000 per month on ads. And again, I know for in your case, your goal is to sell 5 programs at 5K a month and 25K. So for that type, your return on investment is a no-brainer. But even if the leads come in and you were able to close 5 of those a month, are you willing to commit to generating that type of budget in order to do so? Right? This is a last early attempt right after having a shift in identity, right after gapping them, right after claiming that their vehicle, because I want you guys to see how powerful these steps are. We literally just made them go through this entire mental shift of a new identity change, entire mental shift of claiming a new identity, an entire mental shift of commitment, right? And then claiming whatever vehicle it is that you're offering them. They're like, yes, I agree, that can get them there. It's their decision. You're not convincing them. They are the ones convincing themselves. Now, they're actually committing to the budget before we actually go and pitch our product. Because obviously the final step is going to be the actual pitch and close. So that's what it is for actual commitment and actual budget. This is super powerful. Now is the time to be able to do so. It's very powerful to do this right after they have a change in identity. You'd be surprised how willing people are to change. And if you've been getting the objection a lot of people not being able to spend money on ads, or the objection of people not being able to set aside money for groceries for your programs, right? Add this step, actually do this after an identity change, and watch how powerful it is, and watch how the change of what people will actually be willing to be like, yes, I'm willing to do that if it means these results. Of course, that's a no-brainer. But when before, as a closer, you're just so frustrated. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't get it. They have to spend money to make money, right? I'm so frustrated. Why are they in the scarcity mindset? Why are they not thinking abundantly? Why are they not thinking like a fitness professional? Why are they not thinking like a business owner? It's because you didn't take them through the steps. You didn't help them have an identity shift. So that is how you do step 7. It is all about asking for the commitment for whatever the time, energy, and effort that you know is going to be involved for your program or your services, and getting them to say yes. And if a budget is required, now is your shot to go ahead and bring up the elephant in the room and make sure they're willing to commit to doing that and finding a way to be resourceful. I've had a lot of times, I've closed deals where people, through having identity shift, were like, you know what, I don't have a budget aside for it, but I'm willing to make it happen. This is where you get to be resourceful and be like, cool, I know you don't have a budget aside. Is there any way, that you think you can come up with it, right? Can you get a loan? Can you borrow money? Is there any way that you can go, is there a grant you can apply for, right? Whatever it is. You'd be surprised how often through having an identity change, people will be resourceful to come up with it because they want to accomplish their goal. You literally changed them at a mindset level into becoming a new identity, and they're going to be resourceful and do what it takes to win, be success. Those are the people that you want into your program, that are going to be your best case studies. They're going to get results and become amazing testimonials for you, all because you did your job correctly as a closer and you followed the steps to a T. So if you guys found value in this, as always, let me know in the comments. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts of all these steps here so far. And again, I'll also add a link down into the description for the B2B Facebook group if you guys want to join the group and learn more and do coaching and have live Q&A sessions and stuff in the group. We'll cover this even further. And I will catch you guys in the next and final step, which is going to be a 2-part series. Step 8, we're going to cover the actual closing process, which is where you pitch them, as well as part 2 is going to be the objection handling. So this is all the final step of the 8-step inception close. I'll see you guys in the next video.